Hello, my friends. Today we're learning Baba Basra Daf Hayomi. So we learned that Rabbi Yossi says that each one could do in his own property what he likes. He could build a pit, and the other guy could plant a tree. And you can't tell him you can't plant a tree because it's going to ruin my pit. Says the Gemara, Chofava Modalef, the top line, the Bei Bar Merion, Brei de Ravin. The people of Bar Merion, when they would do the flax, they would separate it. What comes out of the flax, the dirt, would go. Umaskinchi would fly in the wind and cause damage to other people around there. Also, the Kamed Ravina, so this case, and came in front of Ravina. Amalu told him, when did we say that Rabbi Yossi agrees that if it's his own arrow, that then you're not allowed to do something in your own property if it causes damage to someone else, like when an arrow, animally, that's talking about the cause of that they're going like an arrow that you put the power in to go elsewhere. Over here, the wind is pushing this to go elsewhere and cause damage. It's not their fault, and you can't stop them doing that. Matkiflom Marbaravashi asked the question, this Maishno, why is this any difference? Mizur Baruch Mesayotoi. This is a din on Shabbos, one of the obvious melacha is to Zoire means to throw up wheat into the air and make the peel separate from the grain. And we say it's also on Shabbos, even though that the wind helps you. So like on Shabbos, it's also here. It should be also in Hezekim. They told this case in front of Amema, what the din, are they allowed, can they stop them doing the flax or not? Omalu, Amema held like the kasha, like Zoyre Ruach Mesayotoi, the din is that you chayav on Shabbos. So also for mazik, it's considered mazik, even though that it's together with the wind. When a Ravina doesn't have this kasha, is no kasha Ravina, because Ravina will say that there's a big difference between Shabbos, that's Isurim, that you need Malachos Machshavas, and if it's Malachos Machshavas, it's Asa. To Mazik, that's a whole different parsha, and if it's not my koiches, it comes from the wind, I'm not Mazik. So says the Gemara, a different kasha Ravina. Ravina, Maishnomi Gates, Ayoyte Mitachas Apashtish V'izik. There's a din that everyone agrees, if someone's banging a hammer and comes out a spark and goes and damages someone, the chayiv l'shalem, you need to pay. And over there also there's the wind that pushes this spark of fire, and we say chayiv. What's the difference? So the Gemara, no, hosam nichelei de lezel. When you're banging with the hammer, you want the sparks to go far away because you don't want to cause damage in your workshop. Over here, when they were doing the flax, they don't want that the waste should go away and cause damage to other people. They prefer to stay in the area and not cause damage. But if it does happen that the wind takes it and it causes damage to other people, I'm not chayev. I'm allowed to continue doing what I'm doing. Says a Mishnah, if someone wants to plant a tree next to the field, his friend's field, you can't plant it. It's only if you keep away 4 amas from the border of the field. The Gemara is going to explain why. Echad kfonim doesn't matter if it's grape trees, vechad kolin on any type of tree. If there was a tree, a wall between the two fields, you're allowed to put, each one's allowed to plant close to the fence his trees. If the roots of your tree is going into your friend's field, you have to put them deep into the ground 3 tefachim, that when your friend's plowing his field, they shouldn't get stuck into these roots. So therefore you have to dig them in, that they should be more than 3 tefachim deep. If someone's digging a bor siach, it's different types of water storage, different shapes. He could cut all the roots that come from the tree, from his friend's tree in the neighboring field. Then he goes deep, and the trees that he cut belong to him. Who is him? We're going to see the Gemara discusses it. Is it the one who's building the water reservoir, or is it the one who owns the trees? Tana, we learned in the Brisa, the reason why you have to keep 4 amas away from your friend's field, because when you have a field of trees, you need to plow around the trees, and the plow takes 4 ames space, so if you're going to do it on the border, you're going to have to go into your neighbor's field, and that's not right. That's why you have to keep 4 ames away. Omar Shmuel, Loishonu, Ziftin, that we have to say 4 ames away, Ela Beret Yisrael. It's enough to keep 2 ames away, and the reason is because they had a smaller type of plower, and you only need 2 ames for it, and that's why you don't need to keep 4 ames away. Tani Nami Ochi, we'll bring you right to this. It says in the Braisa, you're not allowed to plant a tree next to your friend's field. Only if you keep away 2 ames away. Elolav Kedeshmul Shmamino. You can see right within of Shmuel the difference between Eretz Yisrael and Chutz La'aretz. In Eretz Yisrael you need 4 ames, and Chutz La'aretz in Bovel 2 ames, and therefore the Braisa where it says 2 ames was talking about in Bovel. The Ikeduromulomirma. Some people don't learn the sugya a bit different. They ask first the stura and then they bring the din of Shmuel. Now, and we learned in the Mishnah, you need to keep 4 ames away from your friend's field. But Tanya in the Braisa it says shtei amos, the cheret is steer. Omar Shmuel loy kashya can be bovel is enough 2 ames because the plow was smaller and it's enough 2 ames to plow. Can be well, the plow was bigger, they need 4 ames. Rava Bar Chanon Avala Anu Dikli had these palm trees a mitra de Paradisa de Rav Yosef on the border of the vineyard of Rav Yosef. Avu also Tipori came the birds. Yosvi Bedikli, they would sit on the high palm trees. Venachti be Paradisa, and from there they'd go into the vineyard. Mafsadele and cause damage to the grapes. Omalei Rav Yosef told Rava Bar Chanon, Zilkoitz, go cut your trees. I kept my 4 ames, so it says in the Mishnah to keep 4 ames, so what's the problem? That's talking about for other trees. But funny, when you have a vineyard, you need more than 4 ames. Says the Gemara, we learned clearly in the Mishnah, doesn't matter if it's grape trees, if it's any other tree, you have to keep 4 ames. So Rav Yosef answered to Rava, if it's a tree to a tree or grapes to grapes, then you need to keep only 4 ames. But if you're planting another tree next to a vineyard, you need more than 4 ames. I'm not going to cut this palm tree down. Why not? Omar Rav, I declare the toin kaba, a palm tree that has a good fruit on it. Also, you're not allowed to cut it down because you're not allowed to cut down a fruit tree. And Rab Chanina said, my son who's called Shichas, who didn't die, the only reason why he died, they cut a fig tree before it was time to cut it, it's still giving fruit. So Rava told Rav Yosef, Mr. Rabbi Yosef, if you want to cut my tree, go ahead and cut it, but I'm not cutting down, I don't want to die, chas v'sholem. Says the Gemara, Rav Papa had these palm trees on the border with the field next to Rav Huna brother of Yeshua. Azal Ashkechet Abechofa, Rav Papa went and he saw that Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yeshua, was digging the kokoit sharshav and he's cutting off the roots from the trees. Amalei Maihai, what are you doing over here? What's going on? Amalei Tnan, it says in our Mishnah, if the roots of your friend's field is coming into your field, you could dig them into the ground through Tfachim. He's Mechuyev, the one who had the trees. They shouldn't disturb my Machresha to work. Amalei, so he told him, that's very good, you could dig them in through Tfachim. Mar, you're digging much more than 3 tfachim into the ground and cutting the roots. I'm digging to make a bur or siach omara. And it says in the Mishnah, you dig and cut down the roots of your friend's trees, and the trees are his. Omar Papa says Papa, I told him lots of rice why he's not allowed to do what he is doing, and he didn't have, and he always had the answer to say against the raya that I told him. Until I brought him this raya. This is what Rav Yehuda said. A way where Rabbim had chazaka to use it, even though that belongs to a private person, but there's a chazaka of the Rabbim to use this way. Also, the private person who owned the land can't cancel this way. So also over here I have a chazaka on these roots that are in your field, so you can't cut them. Lebosa de Nofak, after Rav Papa went, so said Rav Huna, Oma, Amaylo Amrle, I could have answered him. Kan betoich sheishes re'amo, kan chutzel sheishes re'amo. That the din of the tree has roots that go up further away, even 25 amas, like we said. But where he gets the energy from is only from 16 amas close to the tree. And since these roots are more than 16 amas away, and they're not giving any life to the tree, I'm allowed to cut them. But he never told this to Rav Papa. Tell the Gemara, we learned in the Mishnah, you're allowed to cut the roots of your friend, the then goes down, and the trees belong to him. Boy, Mine Rav Yaakov Hadaiva. Rav Yaakov from a place called Hadaiva asked Rav Huna, show me these roots that he's cutting, who do they belong to the person who's cutting them or to the one who owns the trees? I'll bring you a raya. From the Brisa, it says, Shorshe ilon shel edyot. You have two fields. One belongs to a private person, and the field next to it belongs to Hekdesh, and the roots of the tree that belongs to the Hedyot. Aboim b'shel Hekdesh, that they're going into the field that belongs to Hekdesh. Lo inenim, you don't have to have a no from it because it has a din of Hekdesh. But it's not Meila that's Mamish Hekdesh. If you had a no from it, Yechayiv Meila, because it's just Midirabonon. So he told him, if we go after the tree, that the roots belong to the tree, that's why there's no meila. And if you look at the land, who do the land belong to? Why no moel? The land belongs to Hekdesh. Elamai, go after the tree. And therefore, in our case, these roots that go after the tree belong to the owner of the tree, not to the person who's digging the hole. So he told him back, Elomai bossa ilanas dinan. So you want to prove to me that the roots go after the tree? Hey, Maseifa, let's look at the Seifa of this price. Shel Hekdesh aboim b'shel Hedyot is the opposite case, where the roots of Hekdesh are going to a field of Hekdesh. Lo inenim, you're not allowed to enjoy it, have a no from it, because it's coming from Hekdesh. V'lo moelim, and you know moel. Be bossa ilanas dinan. And if you're telling me that the roots go after the tree, amai lo moelim. Why are you not moel? Why would you not buy moel? It's coming from the Hekdesh. You should be meila here. So he says, my area. So he continues, midi area. From here you can't bring a raya. I'll tell you why. Because this chat in the Brisa over here is talking about begidulim aboim la'achar mikan askinan. It's talking about that after the field became Kodesh, only afterward these extra roots grow. Because Sova ain't meila begidulim, it's a machloikes. If someone was makdish a tree and it grew more, why it grew more, does it belong to Hekdesh or not? Is it meila or not? And there is a shit who says that there's no meila. And that's why over here, the roots that grew bigger into your friend's field, even though that becomes from a Hekdesh tree, because it grew after it became Hekdesh, there's no meila in it. And therefore there's no raya from this Brisa to our Shaila. Ravina Maloi Kasha. Ravina said, the steer and the Brisa is no kasha. Kan betoich sheishes re'amo, kan chutzel sheishes re'amo. In the 16 amo close to the tree. That's Tuma in the case of the ratio where it says that that's the Hedyot tree that's going to Hekdesh, moil, and you're not allowed to have a no because it belongs to the tree, but you're not allowed to have a no because midin derabanan, because it's growing in a field of Hekdesh. And in the Sefer where it says that Hekdesh that growing into someone chulin that moil, the reason is because it's more than 16 amo, and like we said before, more than 16 amo, the tree doesn't get chiyus from that, so therefore it's not considered part of Hekdesh, and that's why you're not moil in it. And that's how to understand the steer and the brisa between the Reisha and the Sefer. We're going to end over here because the next part of the Gemara is a whole long sugya of cheshbon that we need to learn together. Thank you very much, my friends. Everyone should have a very, very nice and good week with lots of blessings.